welcome to episode 34 of the Dental Realist Podcast. I am Dr. Ryder Waldron, and I'm here as usual with Dr. Marcus D. Neff and Dr. Troy Stevens. Troy, how's it going this morning? It is morning, actually. We're used to recording at night.
Yeah, it is, actually. It's a nice morning. It's a nice long break for the holidays, and boy, I can't believe how relaxed I feel right now.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
We're so excited for Christmas.
Yeah, I got, 12 days off or whatever it is?
Wow. 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it 12? It's 12 days till like January 2nd, right?
Wow, awesome. Marcus, how about you? You're probably missing dentistry already.
I am. In fact, I want to go to the office so bad. I'm looking for patients. I just put out a post on Facebook asking if anybody had a dental emergency, please contact me.
Well, yeah. I'll get this posted as soon as possible, this episode, so people can know that that's true.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people taking time off this time of the year, so, let's just direct them over there to Marcus D. Neff, and he'll take great good care of them.
That's right. Well, it's good to be back. We've been off for a couple of months. Real life got in the way, but we're back, and we're gonna try to be more regular, right, guys?
We definitely need to be more regular.
A lot more fiber.
That's right. Well, leave it to Marcus.
Well, this time of year, you eat a lot of cheese and salami and stuff.
My
and
gosh.
You want to get more regular. You got to get a little more fiber in you.
We've already started the edit.
Last time I had a
Oh,
piece
you were
of
talking
salami.
about more regular with our podcast.
Yes, more regular recording schedule. Salami and bologna, they are two Italian meats that I don't usually go for.
What?
But you drink eggnog, so you kind of.
I love a good
eggnog.
eggnog. I love a bad
Yum,
eggnog.
yum, yum.
I'll drink eggnog, whatever.
I don't think you want to drink eggnog when it's gone bad.
Well, I mean, and Troy will back me up on this. Eggnog is a delicious drink.
It's absolutely. I don't know what's wrong with Marcus. He's got something wrong with him.
I think it's the egg. You're drinking egg. You're trying to reenact Rocky.
Well, I mean, yes, I do go for a 6-mile jog after I drink a glass of eggnog, but I don't know. I love eggnog. I haven't had enough this year.
I feel like we kind of got sideways here with our podcast.
We probably did.
Yeah.
We just turned this just became an eggnog podcast.
Well, it is Christmas time, so why not?
That's right.
Yes.
So we're going to talk today about the challenges of rewarding, retaining employees, giving them bonuses, things like that, because we've had some issues in our office lately about this, and it seemed like a good thing to talk about because this is the time of year that staff and employees are expecting a Christmas bonus, and we want to give some advice on how to handle things like that because we go through the same issues. So, Marcus, what do you think? And we're all in different practice settings. Troy's in a partnership. I'm in solo practice. Marcus works for a healthcare corporation. But Marcus, what do you think the rationale is for offering incentives, bonuses, benefits? They're all different. But what do you think the rationale is for offering those types of things?
Well, I think that as an employer or a corporation or whatever, you're trying to motivate certain behaviors. I think you're trying to encourage people to do their best or to work towards a goal, to accomplish something. And I think that's kind of the essence of it in my mind.
Yeah, a little motivation technique. Mm-hmm. So, Troy, how have you communicated this to your staff, like to make it clear how they will gain these bonuses, these incentives? Do you go through that with new employees? How do you handle that situation?
We have a staff meeting every Tuesday morning, and we discuss how the week has gone, the previous week, kind of things, what we've done, what we could do better. We discuss, production collections, problems with that. We had a bonus system in place a few years back. However, since this whole insurance fiasco has taken over the practice, we have yet to been able to find a really good calculation to determine a bonus, because the profitability of the practice has decreased so significantly with this insurance is that we've had very little left over to give out as bonus. Even like this year was the weirdest thing we've ever had. We discussed this amongst ourselves before, that I actually produced more this year than last year and collected less. because I had
Amazing.
more insurance write-offs. So basically, worked harder, made less. First time it's ever happened in the 15 and a half years I've been doing dentistry. So this is a thing that I'm struggling with in my own office because, how do I incentivize and give my staff a bonus if I'm taking pay cuts?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And we've kind of talked about this for years, maybe not so much on the podcast, but just between ourselves, that with the pay going down in dentistry, it's bound to trickle down to the staff. But what I've noticed is that the staff doesn't see it that way right now, with all these corporations opening up, and PPOs being so, I don't know, ingrained in dental offices that it's bound to have an effect on the staff, but they just aren't realizing that. So, Marcus, how do you think we can help them realize that these are a bonus? A bonus is something extra and not just something that they can count on all the time.
I think ideally, at the very beginning when you decide to implement a bonus system, that's the best time probably to have the conversation. Just really stress that this isn't a given. This isn't an automatic. This is something that's earned when we reach whatever the goal is. But it's always contingent on the practice being profitable. And when I was in private practice, I tried different bonus things, and I don't think I communicated that very well. I think my staff at times got just in the mindset that these bonuses happened or that these little extras were going to happen, and it's hard to put it back in the cat back in the bag, so to speak, once it's out there. Once you give some Christmas bonus just because it's Christmas, or you give some certain amount of money every Christmas, staff somewhat come to expect it. I mean, kind of like Clark Griswold, he thought he was going to have all that money to go build a pool in the backyard. Well, it turned out it was just Jelly of the Month Club. But
that's exactly right. That's a perfect scenario because he in that movie depicted that he even said something along the lines of the fact that people expect that and they kind of associate it with their salary, right?
Yeah.
And that's a falsehood. Bonuses are bonuses. They're not anything to do with your salary. You're getting paid hourly to do your job. That's the requirement for your job. That is other things that, whatever happens, that's like cushion money or something.
Yeah, it's something you can't really count on. And, I think dentistry is unique because in a lot of jobs, every year the employee every year or two will get like a 3 or 4% raise, and it's just automatic and they just know it's going to happen. So there's not a lot of motivation for them to do a better job because they know it's an automatic raise. But in dentistry, it's different because there's no guarantee that your practice is going to be as profitable one year to the next.
That's I think something it's hard because like your finances and all those things. I mean, you're in a private practice, you're in a solo practice, whatever. That feels like a really private thing, like that you don't want to just like share all of the numbers and all the details of what's going on with the business with all your staff members. And I don't think I'm suggesting that you do that, but I think there's got to be, and I'm not saying I was great at this when I was in private practice, and where I work now, I don't think they're great at it with me, because I'm an employee there. But there's got to be some kind of balance of sharing enough information with the team so they know kind of the health and the status of the practice without making it come across as, hey, we got so much money, we because to them, the money that's coming into the practice is huge, and it's big numbers, but compared to what they're probably making, it seems huge. Or on the other side, if the practice is having a down year, I mean, I'd be concerned that I don't want to put too much out there and have them feel all this doom and gloom and pessimism and that kind of thing too. But there's got to be some kind of balance of keeping everybody informed and understanding the impact that their job has on the bottom line of the practice, and in turn their salary or their income and bonuses and all that.
Yeah, and it does seem like when you give them kind of the bad news, it does cast a dark cloud over the whole practice, and that makes things even worse. And so it should be a reality check and a motivation. Like, okay, you guys, if we produce more, you guys will get more. But right now we're not producing more. But it kind of drags them down, and you can feel it's palpable almost in the office when you tell them things like that. When I have, at least, I read the book by Fred Joyal, and I can't remember what it's called. He's the 1-800-Dentist guy. And it said that you should offer a $10 bonus to everybody that answers the phone and schedules a new patient. And I thought, okay, that'll be, make people answer the phone and really motivate them to get in and get scheduled. And so I found that, we were scheduling, I don't know, 20 or 30 new patients a month, and I was paying out $300 a month or something, just basically for people doing their jobs. And then I finally took that away and just said, we're not doing that anymore. And man, it was like I had stolen money from them. And it was pretty rough for about a week or so. But it was like, that's kind of what your job is. Your hourly pay is to do your job. And the bonus is going above and beyond is how I see it, I guess. So Troy, how do you think you can make employees feel like their job is rewarding when you can't offer big bonuses and benefits and stuff like that? Because in private practice, a lot of time, or any practice, you can't necessarily do that all the time.
Boy, yeah, this is a tough one, because the topic and the points that Marcus touched on are things that I have actually am struggling with heavily, as I've shared with you guys in my practice right now. Because see, we were with some management folks that actually had us share with team. We share our numbers with the team. They know how much we're producing. They know how much we're collecting. They don't see how much we spend in bills. They don't see any of those kind of things. However, they know when we're down, $500,000 in collections or whatever this year, write-offs from insurance, and they know that stuff. So in my mind, in essence, by sharing that, I'm kind of thinking, this is kind of letting them know inadvertently that the practice is not thriving extremely well.
Do you feel like they associate that, though? I mean, maybe they see it, but do they really?
I do not know that.
Does it click? Because, for you, it clicks because it hits you in your pocketbook.
Right. That's a good point, Marcus, because I don't know. I'm assuming it does, because I don't want to come out and tell them, you're not going to be able to get a bonus this year. We're just down too far.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's like say there, a bonus is a bonus. I want them to be working hard and reward them if I can. However, in the temperature, the climate, whatever we have going on in dentistry right now, I'm in a really rough spot, because how do I keep morale high when I'm going down? And my business partner and I have had this discussion at length for the last little while, as year end is closing up and we're seeing how we are ending up for the year and everything. And we're like, how do we stay positive? How do we stay positive when we took I think I've even mentioned this on the podcast. I took another pay cut in August, and I'm assuming I'm going to take another one because my accountant's already hounding us for, how taxes are going to be coming out in April, and how we're going to have enough cash for those. And, so it's a very fine, delicate thing. I would say don't promise your staff anything, like Ryder is saying, when you have a bonus system in place and it goes away because the practice goes away, they assume that you're taking money from them. If you never tell them anything about a bonus, then they don't expect anything.
True.
They don't expect it. The problem, like you're saying with this 1-800-Dentist guy too, is like that's insane to tell them and motivate them for that in this climate today. I'm not saying in 2005, 6, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there, that is an excellent motivator. Things were purring like a kitten. You could actually make money in dentistry. However, now I really struggle. I mean, that $10 is right off the top of that's the dentist's cut. That's all you're getting off of a new patient exam. Yeah, $10, So it's like, how can you give away all your profit? So that's a struggle I'm having right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I have had the same issue as you, Troy, that I have produced more this year, but our collections are lower. And we went back through some things, and there was one insurance that has been that owes my office about $8,000. And they keep coming back and saying, well, we don't have the correct NPI number. They do these things, and we've sent in the paperwork 6 times, I think, now. And So I've tried to communicate this to my staff that I could tell that our like my bank account was lower, and I wanted to know what was going on. And so, I found out that this insurance isn't paying when they should be paying. It's been 6 or 7 months now. And so I tried to communicate that to my staff, like, this is $8,000. Okay. So they see how much we produce and they think, okay, maybe that's just a drop in the bucket. That's 2 days worth of production or whatever. But, when you're talking about their Christmas bonus or whatever, and if they want, their couple $100 or $500 or whatever, well, if I had 8,000 more dollars, that would be a heck of a lot more money to give them as a bonus, and I wouldn't be able to give them all $8,000 or anything like that. But if I took $1,000 and divided over 4 of them or something like that, that's pretty decent extra money for just having a holiday. We don't give them a Thanksgiving bonus or a 4th of July bonus or anything like that. But they just expect it around. Day bonus? Well, I only give that to you. But
yes. I was making sure. But that was just between us.
But it just, I don't know. I don't know who thought of the idea of a Christmas bonus. It's more of a Christmas gift. I mean, I guess if we called it a Christmas gift, they wouldn't expect the same thing every year. But it's just, it's a weird dynamic. But Marcus, let me ask you, how do you think that you can make employees feel like their job is rewarding when you can't offer them bonuses like that? Do you have any other ideas?
Oh, I mean, I think there's some basic things that are important. I mean, it's hard to know how far they go. It's probably different for every person that works for you, but just genuinely telling them thank you. I'm not always the best at this, but I've tried, and I think it helps just to say to somebody like your assistant at the end of the day, hey, thanks for all your help today. I appreciate what you do. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. I think, as corny as it might be, occasionally just writing somebody a little note. I mean, it feels awkward maybe, but just writing them a little note and saying, hey, I really appreciate what you did the other day, blah, blah, blah. Recognition. So just recognition, I think, can make people feel good. And that's only going to go so far. I mean, the reality is everybody works because they need money.
Yeah.
But that's something, I think. Just common courtesy, recognition, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think positive reinforcement is probably huge. And I've read a few of these surveys that they ask dental staff, what's the most important thing? And praise is usually the most important thing. It's not money, it's praise. And I think praising somebody in front of other people, like I've tried this sometimes with my assistant, say we have a procedure that's going really well and the patient says something nice, says, oh, that was really quick. I say, oh, well, I've got a great assistant that just sure keeps things flowing really well. And just having the assistant hear that and you saying it in front of the patient, I think sometimes makes the assistant feel like, hey, he really appreciates me here. I was recognized. Yeah, that's true. I have an assistant that she really packs cord well. And I don't like packing retraction cord, and she does it really well. So usually I'll say that in front of the patient, and you can just tell it makes her just beam. And then the next time she packs cord, she really takes pride in it. And I have a couple of new hygienists that are working for me, and one of them has been having a hard time staying on schedule. Last week she was nailing it every day. She was staying on schedule with every patient. And so I started telling her, man, you're doing awesome. You're doing awesome. And I noticed all this week she was on schedule, even ahead of schedule. So it's been great. And I think that positive reinforcement really goes a long way. And so, yeah, that's a good idea to use that, Marcus. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
A bouquet of flowers, chocolates.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that crosses the line. Maybe you start joking.
It might.
Sometimes, yeah. The sad thing is, Marcus, in this day and age, you do have to be kind of careful like that. I don't. It's sad. It's sick and wrong that you can't compliment people and have them take it the way you mean it.
I know you feel like you're on pins and needles, like you don't want to say to your assistant, "Oh, your hair looks really nice. What did you do?"
Don't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed when we have a staff meeting, I'll try to think of something to celebrate in front of everybody else. If my front office did good at collections or the assistant did good with one of the patients, and they really love that. They really love other people knowing how well they did at their job. So that's a good one.
Something else that I do, and I don't think this is unique. You guys probably do it. Other people do it, but every now and then I'm walking through Costco or Sam's Club and I'll buy a big bag of candy, or I'll buy, something like that, bring it into the office. I mean, some of those little things help. Just make people.
Oh, do you
feel
share
like,
it with the staff? I usually just do that for myself.
Only if they do a
Buy
good
myself
job.
a big bag of candy.
Yeah.
Only if they do a good job. Who's been a good girl? Yeah, that's kind of the way I do it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we buy snacks and stuff, get some chips and salsa or something, or, a little veggie tray
Yes. Yeah.
every
betcha.
once in a while and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's really difficult in this climate nowadays to monetarily give them above and beyond because, if I don't have the money, I can't give it to them. If I were doing better, I would have no problem. We used a bonus a ton. Back in the glory days, I remember one month we did 13,000 in bonuses in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I work for you?
The staff's
Don't
they almost doubled their salaries because it was purring so good.
Don't tell my staff
It was
that.
amazing. But I have a bigger staff, as far as
You do have quite a staff, yeah.
I have like
You've got a
12,
small army working for you.
12 ladies or 14 ladies or something like that. We have a lot of people there, but you can't do the job without them. They're fantastic, and we appreciate them. I would love to be able to give them more. It's just that in the climate we are in right now, I'm just making sure I can pay my taxes, so I'm not wearing striped pajamas in April.
Yes, that's right.
It's kind of sick and wrong that you have to worry about how much money you have so you can pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah. That's one thing.
But
I don't
it
think
is
the
true.
staff and them have to worry about it being an employee, because I pay part of their taxes, and then
Their taxes,
I pay my
too.
taxes, and then I pay everybody else's taxes, and self-employment has its downsides.
Yeah, and it is true. Like, we do appreciate our staff, and we couldn't do it without them. But we would love to give them more money. It's just tough. Yeah. It's tough, and it's only been not too long that you've really been taking a lot of PPOs, isn't it, Troy?
Well, yes, you're right, because for whatever reason, this area was very resilient to it, and it's only hit us the last 2, 3, 4 years maybe. And then, of course, the reimbursements go down every year instead of up. Actually, one of them did go up. They went up $1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For a crown?
No, for everything. I think they across the board, they were all excited that they were given a reimbursement of $1 on across the board.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, that you might as well just not even do it because, how many times I have to call your insurance to get you to pay your claim already, it ruins all my profit anyway.
And I saw a thing, I think Howard Ferron posted this online, that the CEO of Delta Dental makes more than the CEO of Apple. I guess Tim Cook the CEO of Apple? Makes more than Tim Cook. Like, but people don't understand that insurances are such a scam, and these, you see these commercials, at least I see them in my area, that, our insurance cares about you. We want what's best for you. No, come on. Quit the crap. Yeah.
You know what I had this week? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
I had a situation where we billed out 2 services, one on the 5th of December and one on the 3rd of December, right, for a patient. Did some work. The insurance claim they paid on the 5th, the one that we did, the service we did on the 5th, but they needed more information from the patient for the one on the 3rd, saying they needed to know when they were eligible for insurance.
Well, who knows? How was that your job?
What? How could you not know? You paid a claim 2 days after this claim.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
And yet you don't even know when they enrolled, and you're the one that look at your computer screen.
It's amazing.
They seriously, I have found these insurance companies will do anything, like you're saying, that one that owes you money. They will do anything to hold up a claim. And then I spend hour after hour and hour with my staff trying to get payment for a claim. By the time my staff has been on the phone with them for 2 hours, that's made all my profit disappear.
Yeah.
But good, I got paid for that. Well, not really, because your staff, you have to pay your staff to be on the phone for 2 hours to fight them on it. It's ridiculous.
It is.
How's that for a downer?
Jeez.
God, sorry.
Man. Okay, so
Merry Christmas.
We're optimistic over here.
Jeez. Okay, so I guess this could go for the podcast also, but I'm going to ask you, how do you How do you guys, what are some good ideas to keep the team members from becoming negative and pessimistic if the practice is struggling? Or if your co-hosts are pessimistic, how do you keep it from, if the podcast is struggling? How do you...
You know what? I don't even want to answer
just drug
this
us right
question.
down.
No,
What's
I
that?
will not. I decline.
You won't touch it.
You two are much more positive than me. Let's have you guys go ahead and do it.
Marcus, you're the Tom Lauer Award winner from Marquette,
Yes,
2000.
Tom Lauer Award winner.
Probably, what was it? 1999, 2000, somewhere around there. What are some ways, like maybe we can brainstorm this, what are some ways to keep your staff happy when it feels like there's no reason to be happy?
Bob Ross videos. I watched The Joy of Painting, Happy
Put a
Little
little
Trees.
happy little tree there. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you've really got to try hard to look for things that are going right. I mean, and celebrate those little things that are going right. Hey, that crown fit great, and thank goodness we don't have to see Betty anymore. I mean, I don't know. I mean that's it. It's stretching it. It's hard because financial pressures are real, and they can really suck any joy you might have in dentistry right out of it.
It's true.
But I mean, I feel like you've got to try to look for something to celebrate every day, or something to be happy about with your staff, or to compliment them on, or to feel like you had some kind of a victory in the day, and then to just promote it. That's one way, maybe.
Some way to lighten the mood. At my office, I do a production bonus, and I think we've probably talked about this before. So I set a goal each day and each month, and so if we hit that, then there's a certain bonus they get. And I've noticed that really does keep them motivated. And I set the bonus enough that hopefully, with write-offs and everything like that, it will still make sure that we collect enough. And I always have the caveat that, we have to collect enough. And this year for Christmas bonuses, it really did come into play because we haven't collected, especially with that insurance outstanding, enough to give what I usually do for Christmas bonuses. But with the monthly bonus, it does seem like they do work hard because they're all working towards this one goal of getting extra money. But it's got to be financially feasible to do it, or you're just giving them money and they feel good about it, but then you, or at least as the dentist, I could become resentful if they're like, yeah, we got this bonus, but like I didn't do my job or collect enough money, because then it's like, well, you don't really deserve the bonus, and then that's a hard conversation.
Yeah, production bonus is, it's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
because what you collect is what really matters. I mean, in the end.
And it probably should be a collections bonus, and that would probably be better. It's true. So, Troy, with you having to take away Christmas bonuses this year, it sucks. And but I know, talking to you, like, it's been stressful for you, as stressful as it has been for the staff, I'd say. So how did you communicate that to the staff, that they weren't going to be getting that this year?
I didn't.
Oh.
No, I really didn't. Basically, it's a crappy deal because, in my mind as an employer, I go, the bonus thing is there. If we get it, you're going to get one. If not, I'm not going to be able to tell you we're not getting one. I'm just going to not give it to you. Mm-hmm. But, I have led up several months here with this whole increased production, decreased collection thing. Yeah. To let them know that the cash flow is not right. We had so much money going out at the end of this year with the, some state taxes, with the property taxes, with some other things that we have that hit right now, that it's just absolutely too much. And insurance companies holding back, for year-end stuff so they can show that they have more money in the bank for their year-end, and then of course after January, then they start paying their claims again. So it all comes to a head. And that's the thing, like we were talking earlier, basing a bonus off production is really tricky because you can still produce a lot and make less. Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And so I think with how you're saying, you didn't tell them, well, if you have your bonus program or whatever set up well, you shouldn't have to tell them. It should be clear to them that they didn't hit their goals, there wasn't enough money coming in, so they shouldn't expect it. I guess that's what I like about my bonus thing because they don't have to ask me. I have a whiteboard. I keep track of daily production and how much we have left to go before we hit it. And so they know if we're going to hit it or if we're not. So I don't have to tell them, sorry, you didn't get a bonus. They already know it. But that production bonus, it's a dicey one. So I guess if you have it set up well enough, they should kind of already know. I don't know.
Yeah, this was just a Christmas bonus. So, kind of the end of the year thing that I usually always love to give them. We did have a good, nice party, and we spent $3,700 on some stuff. I mean, we went and had a nice meal. We had some fun, but we usually do that and a bonus.
Yeah.
And this year it was just so tight that I couldn't do it. Sorry, Marcus, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it is. It sucks. I mean, and you got like property taxes, all that stuff that's coming due. I mean, it's just like the perfect storm right around Christmas.
It is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, why do they do that? Can't they have property taxes come due in like July?
Yeah. I know.
It's like this hemorrhage that starts bleeding in December, and you have to patch it so you can get enough money in the bank so that in April you can pay your taxes.
Yeah, and I cut out. We usually go out to dinner as a staff and take spouses or whoever, and I didn't do that this year. I cut that out. So everybody's you just gotta cut out what you can, and hopefully the staff understands. But Troy, let me ask you this: what do you think motivates someone to work at a dental office? Like, what's the main motivation to come work for you? There's
a lot of people that like to work with people. They like to talk to people. They like to interact with people. Dental assistants, there's been many that I have that just love doing what they do. They loved making temporaries or the expanded functions specifically, and things like that. They love talking to people, and you get those kind of people. It's really nice because then they take good care of your patients. And that kind of thing. Another thing, in our office, we've tried to keep like benefits, to try and make people happy, pay part of their health care, part of an IRA, retirement type thing, and then, paid holidays, all that fun stuff where I don't know if all dentists do that. I have no idea. I know some do, some don't. The ones in my town do not. And so therein lies another little dilemma that our pay may be just a little bit less because we have additional other costs involved with an employee versus some other offices that don't offer that stuff. They give them a little higher hourly rate or whatever because of not offering that. They can do that. So I don't know. It's a balancing act. We just try and make it a good place to work, make sure that we try to be good bosses and. Like we were talking earlier, thank you. I say thank you all the time. I'm always thanking them for what they do. Our jobs would be terrible without them.
Oh, it sure would be. Can you imagine? I can't imagine without my
staff. It would be like going back to dental school. Yeah, exactly. Go back and do
Not
that
only
little
that, but
number 2 MO with no assistant.
The three of us have talked about how much the small talk kind of drains us every day. I can't imagine being one-on-one the whole time with the patients without my staff there to buffer some of that.
Oh, sure.
Who was that dentist? There was somebody in dental school, one of the clinical instructors. He had an office where he had basically, it was like him and a front office lady or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was really small. But the dude had chairs, hardly any overhead. He was like cranking out some dentistry. So, I don't know.
Yeah, when a practice I was looking at buying when we were in dental school, he had the same thing. He had the same setup. He had his ex-wife was the front office and his assistant. And I mean, it wasn't like a highly productive office. I didn't end up buying it. But, you keep your staff overhead down. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah. In this day and age, that is absolutely key.
Yeah.
You have to have low overhead. My business partner and I were talking about this last, kind of an aside here from what we're discussing, but back early on when we came out of school, it was not uncommon to see a dental practice with 70+% overhead. Right?
Yeah.
That was very common, very common. Well, if your practice is getting a 30-40% cut from insurances right off, that immediately wipes you off the map. You know what I'm saying? You cannot practice dentistry.
It's true.
You can't make money doing it, right?
Yeah.
So if your overhead is at 70%, you need to just lock up shop. Nowadays, insurances are taking that kind of hit. I mean, they're knocking 30 and 40 and 50, sometimes 50% off of our fees.
Yeah.
You know, we had a thing the other day. We charged $210 for it. They were going to give us $130.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you got to really watch your overhead. You know, and part of that, drawing it back into our conclusion, is our staff salaries, and you know what we're spending in staff and what we're doing there. You know, if you're paying your staff too much, that's digging into your overhead, and it causes a problem. You've got to keep the overhead low in this environment. Crud, I'm going to go back to non-digital X-ray.
You know,
we're going to start going backwards in time instead. You know, because we got to save money.
I like that you brought that up, Troy, because I think it was last week, my front office girl was out of town, so one of my assistants had to fill into the front office, and she kept coming back to me. She was entering in some of the payments, and she's like, okay, now I've got to get this straight. So we charged out $150, and they only paid $71. Now the rest I just count that as a write-off? I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And she's like, and she does that a lot when she's working up front, because she says, I just can't get my head around how much we have to write off. And I said, yep. And it's good for the other staff to see that, because usually it's only the front office. It's good for them to see that, you know, this hour-long pro fee, it might look good that you're producing $150, but when you're getting paid really like $71, it is a hit if you're paying your hygienist $30 or $40 an hour. And then supplies and stuff. I mean, you might be right, Troy, that you might be getting $10 for that patient as the dentist.
Yeah.
And
that
it is just
worth
unreal.
it.
No, we used to have a
it
care-to-share program where if you referred a friend or something like that, would give them $25 and give you $25. We had to do away with that because that's the $25. That's the only $25 I make.
Absolutely.
I can't give the profit away. I'm sorry.
And you can see why. You can see why a lot of dentists, well, I don't know about a lot of dentists, but some dentists, they do their own hygiene, because these hygienists, you know, if you can do a pro fee in a half hour and do it faster, then, you know, these hygienists are going to be out of work, but they come out of school and they expect so much money and this, but they've got to realize there is some realities to this. There has to be a certain amount of money produced from the hygiene side of your office every day just to keep it viable, or there's no reason to have a hygienist. You know, I mean, there's things with patient care and all that, but there's also the business side of it where you've got to be producing some money.
Yeah, you don't have money coming in. You can have all the fun you want in dentistry. If you don't have enough money coming in, you're not going to be a dentist for very long.
It's true.
It is true.
It's true. So Marcus has written some real dynamite notes here today. I like these because I like this. That's your praise for the day. You're not getting paid for this.
Yes.
No bonus today.
I don't need a bonus now. I feel good because you just praised me.
Yes, no bonus.
But one of our questions is, what makes someone feel appreciated? I think we've covered some of that, but I like this other one. What makes someone feel important? Like, I think there's a difference there, Marcus, but can you tell us your line of thinking there with those questions and what you think your answer is?
You know,
or are you just making stuff up?
I was just swinging, and whatever hit the paper, I don't know. No, so I think what I was kind of thinking about was my assistant. She asked if I could show her how to do some of the CEREC stuff. So we do CEREC in our office, and I'd always been the one that designed the crown, did all that stuff, and so, you know, she wanted to learn how to do it, and I showed her, and she did a good job, and I think it just helped her to feel like, hey, I matter here. You know, I'm more than just somebody to suck spit. I'm learning skills. He wants me to do better. He wants me to be better. It just made her feel like, hey, I'm an important person here. What I do here matters. It makes a difference. By her learning to do some of that stuff, it's freeing up time for me to go do something else, like get on Facebook. Something
something really
text
important.
My friends.
Some admin thing or something, probably.
Yes.
I'm sure you're busy doing dentistry.
Anyway,
I like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's excellent.
But or drink a Coke. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Anyway, it's just I think what I was trying to think of there or get at was, you know, people want to feel like they matter. That they're doing something meaningful when they're at work, and helping them learn new skills or giving them new responsibilities, new opportunities, maybe contributes to that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like that, because I've got a few patients that they think that the dentist should do everything. You know, take X-rays, pro fee, everything. And they've made comments before that when I think we were taking some impressions for a snore guard or something like that, I have my assistants take those impressions. And the patient, the lady said, "Oh, what? He's got you doing this now, and then he makes all the money?" And my assistant said, "Well, no, he's paying us to do this." And then I walked in and I said, to be honest, they make better impressions than I do. They do this so much, and they just do a better job at it. And I think my assistant took some pride in that. First of all, it's not like these people, these assistants and hygienists and staff are doing it for free. We're actually paying them to do it, and they take pride in their job. So taking that away from them would make them feel, lesser, I guess. I always get bugged when people ask me if I'm hiring, and, if I am, I'll tell them or whatever. And they'll say, I could come suck some spit. I'm thinking, man, that really is rude. I mean, it's just, first of all, it's stupid. But if you had any clue what these assistants and hygienists do and the skills they have, you would feel really stupid making a comment like that. So,
the general population has no flipping idea how much overhead and how much training and specialty things that go on behind the scenes to make them have a good experience. They have no idea. And I understand that they're joking around and blah, blah, blah. But, like that lady, you know how much it costs me to flip a room to make sure everything's clean and sterile before I use it, to make sure that I am trained enough and have a license to be able to do this, to be able to put the lights on, to be able to rent the building. I mean, these things cost money, lady. It's not like this stuff is just all free and that I sit in the back and just keep having a check come in, And not only that, I have to pay part of her taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but these people don't understand. They probably never have owned a business. They don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really blame them, but it does get annoying and tiresome when you hear that for year after year. How many years we've been hearing that?
Yeah, it is true.
It is true. And I like to use the analogy, I used to say Steve Jobs isn't building your iPhone. I know you think that maybe he is, but he's not. So the dentist doesn't do everything along the assembly line here. So.
Especially now that he's dead.
I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? I'm waiting for the Christmas Carol when the ghost of Steve Jobs comes back.
God, did you just say that? Oh my gosh.
You could come back and talk to Tim Cook, and they could go on the, whatever. They could see the iPhone 1 and how it was back in the past, and the iPhone 27
look at where
in the
they've
future.
come,
Yes, the iPhone XR in the present.
Look how far they've come.
Oh, I think I'm gonna make a screenplay out of that.
That's crazy. That's funny.
All right, well let's talk about why someone would want to leave a dental office to go work somewhere else, whether at another dental office or let's say that they go work just in another industry. Troy, what do you think?
Like my lead assistant right now?
Like your lead assistant. I didn't want to say it, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, my lead assistant, she's worked with me for 3 years. She's a fantastic assistant. She is awesome, personable, does great work, but has just decided she wants to go be a barista. She's managing a coffee shop, and she just enjoys doing that. She did some of that before she did dentistry, and just decided to go back to that industry. And so it is what it is. Like I never fault someone for wanting to better themselves or do something that they want to do and enjoy. I've had one assistant went back to nursing school, several that have gone on to hygiene school. Things happen, and I totally think that if they're doing something to better their life, that's fantastic. I mean, I would do the same thing if I wanted to go in, but there's just nowhere to go. Dentist is the top of the food chain now, and
you're kind of at the top.
We can't really go anywhere. I can't go back to dental school again just to enjoy it again.
You go back to endo school or something, or pedo school.
Not gonna do that. Nah, not pedo. Definitely
school.
not pedo.
Not pedo. No. Oh boy, no. I've heard of some dentists that have done that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had very many staff leave to go work at other dental offices. Except for those who have moved out of the area. Moved somewhere, I hopefully that's a sign that shows, maybe we're doing okay, as far as taking care of them, that they're being felt like they are appreciated, which they are. They should be, hopefully, because they are. But I haven't had too many that have left to go to other offices, which is nice.
I think most of us like stability. We like doing something that's familiar, and routine. I think when somebody leaves, or even when we make big changes in our lives, it's because something doesn't feel like there's I don't know. It's got to be significant enough. I mean, it's got to really be something that feels like it's going to make a difference for us. And so, I think that's good that your staff has been pretty stable at your office. I mean, that speaks well to, I think, the way that you treat them and the way that they feel when they're there. But people, I think, sometimes feel like they need something new, they need something different, and like that one that left to go be a barista. I mean, maybe that was something about being an assistant after a few years just didn't quite do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't fault her for that. I think it's great.
I think people will sometimes leave if they feel like they're not respected, they're not appreciated. If it gets severe enough, bad enough, I think that somebody would say, you know what, I'm out of here. I'll go take a pay cut. I'll go work somewhere else for less, just because this environment is so bad.
Yeah, it's just toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people do want to feel important and make a difference because, for most people, it's not just a job. They're in dentistry to actually help people. And I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
I can't remember what I was going to say, but anyway.
They are. A lot of them want to help people, and they see that they are doing that in dentistry. I mean, the weird thing is that we are helping people, but they all hate us.
It's true.
We're helping you keep your mouth clean and healthy.
But you hate us.
We're getting that decay out of there that you, of course, don't feel and feel like we're trying to scam you.
Yeah.
I think there's just so many people that don't trust anymore, and there's a lot of people out there trying to scam people nowadays, and people are always on their guard. But good thing. I think for a long time, dentists were on one of the most respected folks in the world, or in the as far as the industry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know where we rank now. I don't know if we're still there. But
I really think we're still near the top, and
yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing. That says something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what I was going to say is that, we could give somebody like $100 bonus or a $500 bonus, but if we gave them a bonus and said, "Hey, you suck," they're not going to remember, "Oh, he gave me $500." They're going to remember that he told me I suck.
Yep.
I mean, I've never said that to an employee or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like, "Hey, you didn't do a good job today," or something like that. But here's a bonus. People remember the verbal rewards or not rewards more than the financial ones. So if they feel important at your office or feel needed and that they can make a difference, then I think that is a big boost. Of course, they do want to get paid fairly, but I think a lot of people realize that there is some sort of limit to how high they can get paid. You can't be paying an assistant, $1,000 an hour, but that'd be great if we could.
I know, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, some of them are worth it. Yeah. Let's talk about these. This is something I know we all love and cherish, is the employee evaluation. But how do you guys feel like a lot of times I feel like when I'm doing that, it's kind of like, here, this is what you can do better. This is what, blah, blah, blah. But then they expect a raise at these also. So how do you guys feel like these could be used to improve quality, to motivate the staff to do something above and beyond, and to also show your appreciation at the same time? Because that's a strange dynamic. Marcus, let's start with you.
These staff evaluations were always like, I don't know. I still have to do some now. I mean, it can be really awkward, but I mean, I think they're important. I think they do matter, because if you don't do them at all, there's never any communication. Nobody knows what you really expect or what you really appreciate or like. But I don't know. What is that called? A crap sandwich, where you basically say something nice at the beginning and then you give them the crap and then you put another layer of something nice on the end.
Yeah.
So that's what it
seems about right.
That's what it kind of feels like.
I mean, it's true, because I try to boost them up and tell them what they're doing well, but then you have to tell them what they're not doing well and you want them to improve. But the trick is then they expect a raise, and so I think the real key is to tell them that this is what I want you to improve on, and then if you improve on it over the next couple of months, then you'll get a raise. But then the trick is if they don't, but they see that as like, oh crap, I thought I was just going to get a raise, and then that could drive down the morale. And then the other thing about giving a raise is that what if their performance slacks off? Do you take away money? Like, that's never going to go over well. I don't know.
That's a good
what
point.
Do you think,
It's almost like tenure, They say
it is.
It's
yeah.
exactly like tenure. It's like if they work really hard, get their raise, and then they back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Of course, that would not work well. People don't like it when you take money away from them, for sure. Except for me, I
You love it.
every 6 months or so I get a pay cut, so that's fantastic. No, I think
Yeah, they're tough.
we have actually told our staff that during our employee evaluations that we don't discuss salary. This is all performance stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So just
I love
flat
that.
out tell them this is nothing to do with salary. That's a totally different discussion. This is all about performance.
I like that.
And so
I like that a lot.
split them up, and then if you say, okay, if we, like you're saying, if we have a need that you think that you can, you want to raise, you want to discuss it, that's at a different time.
Huh.
We're not going to talk about that during the evaluation.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that a lot because then there's no pressure to figure out what
discuss,
percentage of a raise
you don't
they
end up
get or
spending the
anything
whole
like
time
that. Yeah.
talking about how much you're making.
Yeah, okay, I like that. That's a nice little nugget there at the end.
Yeah, just set up another
Okay,
appointment
that's good.
for it.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, I like that. Well, do you guys have anything else to add? We've gone on and on. Do you guys have anything else to add? Any more nuggets of knowledge?
No, but for all the staff that are listening out there, you guys are appreciated. I mean, sometimes maybe the dentist is stressed. Especially, just talk to my staff; they know I'm stressed. But you know what? I mean, we can't do our jobs without you, and we are really appreciative and thankful for everything you do because, boy, it makes life a lot easier.
It really does. Yeah, I couldn't do it without my staff.
No way.
I have a skeleton crew compared to you, Troy, but yeah, I really appreciate my staff. That's totally true.
Very true.
Marcus, we appreciate you too.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys giving me a job to be on this podcast and work for you guys. It's really keeps me going.
It's charity, but whatever.
Yeah. Ryder's the president, and he's keeping all the money because I haven't seen any either.
Yeah. I'm the president. Marcus is the treasurer, but he doesn't ever see any money.
Hold on. You're telling me these podcasts are free?
Yep.
What?
For two of you, they are.
You're just now
for
telling me now on episode 34. Okay.
We keep promising that there's going to be a windfall from these, but you haven't seen it yet. Troy and I just divide up that money.
Yes. We're hiding it.
Oh, boy.
That's right. We're giving it to Troy's staff.
That's right. They need it. They're good. They're great. They're great people.
They're good. They're great. And darn it, they matter a lot.
Yep.
Well, why don't I tell everybody about our books?
Why don't you tell us? Drop some knowledge, Marcus.
Yeah, so we do have a couple of books out there. I don't even know what they're called.
So now you're a dentist?
Wow.
So you want to be a
So you
dentist,
wanna be a
and
dentist?
so now you're a dentist. Both of those books are available wherever fine books are sold. Mostly digital books.
Yeah.
You can get a print copy of So You Want to Be a Dentist. You can find them on Amazon and all sorts of places.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also find us on our website, dentalrealist.com. Newly updated with all access to all of our podcast episodes. Thank you, Ryder.
Yep, you're well done.
We also are on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, so look for us there. We love to connect with all of our fans. You can reach us at dentalrealist@gmail.com. And something I think that's really exciting, just to touch on, we have another way to connect with us. If you like our humor, you'll enjoy the Facebook.com. This is all the dental news that you're looking for in a satirical way. So, go check it out, the Facebook.com. Really good news articles. I think you'll get a chuckle. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, they are
And
hilarious.
I think Marcus brought up a good thing a good idea that it's fun to read at your morning huddle.
Exactly.
Hey, there you go.
Yes.
Yes. What a great idea.
That's a way to motivate the staff right there. And who doesn't
Yes.
love a Facebook? I mean, I use mine daily.
Yes.
They're so useful.
Yeah.
The Facebook.com. Check it
I
out.
like the arbitrary Facebook.
I'm not sure what that is.
It just means that you can move it wherever you want.
Oh.
Yes.
It's like,
like
if it's not fitting on the articulator, just keep moving it until it does.
just move it around.
You know,
That
doesn't
is a
matter.
big word. That is a big word, arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
You might want to look that up, Ryder.
I'll Google that.
The arbitrary
You know,
Facebook.
I went to dental school, whatever.
You were the
So
master
check out the
of, dental
Facebooks.
materials, though, Ryder.
I got an A in dental biomaterials. What am I gonna? I mean, do I need to keep telling you guys?
No,
Bis GMA.
that's right.
All right, we better wrap it up on that
do it.
note. So, this has been episode 34 of the Dental Realist Podcast. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk to you soon on episode 35. Thanks.